So I'm here to offer the student perspective on international and local volunteering. If you know about me, I am a serial volunteer. I think since I was 18, I've volunteered for about over 15 different organisations and opted for more than that in terms of the opportunities available. So hopefully I'll be able to give a good overview of the student experience. In terms of how I might define student volunteering and what that is, I think something that's been alluded to before is that it's about passion, it's about enthusiasm, it's about using those gifts and talents for the greater good. So it's not just about, okay, well, I'm young, yeah, I've got some time, let me just do something, but actually being able to transfer that into something that is tangible. And I think that in terms of potential outputs, it's about getting involved with something that you're passionate about, but it's also about getting involved with something that has an impact. And last but not least, and also quite important, is linking that to employability and building up your CV, essentially. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of different types of volunteering? I know that in the news it can be quite controversial. International volunteering can be quite controversial. It can be seen as, if you look at a lot of gap year agencies, they can be quite commercial in their presentation. So you can build a school in X country, and go scuba diving as well. And I think with that, we've created the term voluntourism and other titles like that. And I think that there's something really, really important. I don't think I would take away international volunteering or say that it's bad, but I think it's important to research the type of organisation that you're aligning yourself with when you do go and volunteer. I think that what you tend to find is that volunteer organisations, or those that exist within the international volunteering realm, tend to have volunteer opportunities that are for a lot longer, so where you can actually have a more tangible impact. I don't think, unless you're coming in with technical expertise, to go into a country for a week, even a month, is not enough to really make an impact. And I think that my experience of working in the international volunteering charity, we've seen that minimum is like 6 months, maximum anything, as we talked about with the BSO opportunity, up to 2 years, and having a sustainable impact within a society, within an within a local community. I think teams up with that is away from the idea of coming in as some super expert or someone, I'm a student from the UK and therefore I have something to say, but rather partnering that with local peers. So having what you tend to find, and hopefully in the organisations that you may consider, is matching yourself as an international volunteer with a local volunteer and having that two-way partnership. Because I think there's as much, you may have as much to give as there is to learn. And I think that's really, really key in terms of coming with an open mind. And I think also in terms of the international volunteering realm, it's important to go beyond the gap year as well. And I think there are other opportunities that are available. And I myself, I never had the opportunity to go on a gap year. My parents were quite strict on me going straight to university and finishing and then doing a master's. So I didn't have that year to think about what I wanted to do with my life. So any of the volunteering opportunities I have had internationally have been sort of trying to align that with a lot of my goals or interests in sort of international development and policy. So what you tend to find is that with a lot of international NGOs, a lot of international bodies, there may be other volunteering opportunities, and definitely with UN volunteers, there are other avenues to get involved. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to another country to build a school. I was an election observer for the Kenyan general elections in 2007, and that was 2 weeks to really, I'm a politics student, first degree, and now international public policy, so this was pretty interesting for me, and yet I volunteered my time to do it. How accessible or how visible those opportunities are comes with experience, volunteering, even on the ground. So I think that as much as you have the international as a perspective or as a platform, I think there is so much value in what you do and what you continue to do here in the UK, both nationally or locally. In terms of a responsibility to volunteer, I think that as young people, as students, most definitely we do, without a doubt. You can't tell me you have 8 hours of contact time at university for a whole week, and to not be able to give a day or a few hours a week to volunteering is I don't understand. It doesn't resonate with me. So I think it's really, really important that even in your university experience, and as we've started to see, with increased competition in the workplace, is actually what did you do with your time other than have a degree? Good, it's great to have a degree, tick. Everyone has that now. What else can you offer? What other experience can you bring to the table? And I think that in terms of the whole idea of being your volunteering experience being very local, I think that's where you have a chance and opportunity to really find out about your local community, even find out about other places that aren't in London. I think it's so easy living in London to be very London-centric. And at times, what's going on in other parts of the country? What's happening in the rural areas? You know, where are what kind of impact can I make there? And I think that there's a value in that. I think also, in terms of linking it with employability, I think that volunteering adds value to any CV, adds value to any application form, but not simply because it's volunteering in itself, but the fact that you have some transferable skills and it builds on core competencies that you may not necessarily acknowledge when you're volunteering, but you know, being able to work as part of a team, being able to problem solve, creative thinking, all these different avenues allow for you to kind of build on that from your volunteering experience. In terms of, what would I say, the other benefits, or the other benefits of volunteering is that I think genuinely it gives you a chance and an insight to find out about where your interests do lie. And actually volunteering for a local organisation, you may find that with what I found with smaller organisations is that you tend to have a lot more experience and a lot more exposure to getting involved and to getting your hands dirty, for want of a better phrase, and you really have a chance to kind of really learn the processes of an organisation, whereas maybe a bigger organisation or a bigger organisation, it might be limited. And if you volunteer in an internship capacity, then you may want to move away from just simply making the team, but to actually building your personal development and capacity.